So listen, I'm a registered nurse. Sometimes everything that we have in the hospital, all the knowledge that the doctors have, all the medicine that we have, all the tools that we have at our disposal, everything put into place, put into work, and people still die. Yeah. They die because their bodies have been abused. It's just because the way they live their life, their culture or their lifestyle, the way they live their life. Maybe their culture, everybody ate this way. Nobody exercised. Nobody furthered their education and learned how the body works and how to take care of it. I just did an exercise out here in the park and it felt good. I'm pumped. So energetic after an exercise. I recommend it. I don't want to preach to you guys because you don't need to be preached to, but I just want to share some advice and some lessons that I've learned. One of them is you need to take care of your body because your body is all that you have. I mean, your mind too, but your health, it's so very important. I've worked in a large hospital in Texas for almost a decade now, and I've learned so much taking care of people every day in the hospitals. I see so many things. I see so many people in a bad place, and I look at them and I look at their faces and I just know, and I talk to them too, and I just know that they're so very unhappy and disappointed, and so many of them just have given up all hope, and they're just depressed, and often they feel like they just what's the point of living when my body is just kaput. So in particular, I'm a dialysis nurse. I'm a registered nurse, and I spent the first 5 years of my life in the intensive care because I thought that would be a good place to get a lot of good experience and learn a lot of skills and become a nurse, learn how to be a nurse. And so that's the ICU. And I did. And after 5 years in the ICU, I wanted to specialize in something else. So I got into renal dialysis. So dialysis is what people that have kidney failure are tied to for the rest of their lives until they get a kidney transplant, and that is if they even qualify for a transplant, which many of these people are in such poor shape, or because of their lifestyle, or the way they've lived their life, and the current condition of their body, they just don't qualify for a kidney transplant. So they just, if they want to live, they have to do dialysis. And dialysis is being hooked to a machine so it cleans and filters your blood, removes waste products, removes excess fluid, and helps kind of balance your electrolytes, your potassium, sodium, things like that, different minerals in your body. Everything's got to be in homeostasis. Homeostasis is a fancy word for kind of like a equilibrium in your body. Everything's got to be just right for you to feel good. If it's not, then you're going to be sick. And if they're too out of whack, you're going to be very sick. And ultimately, if left that way untreated, it can lead to death. And it often does. Sometimes everything that we have in the hospital, all the knowledge that the doctors have, all the medicine that we have, all the tools that we have at our disposal, everything put into place, put into work, and people still die. Yeah. They die because their bodies have been abused. And I'm sure they're not doing it on purpose. Well, many of them, they're on drugs or whatever, and I look at that as kind of on purpose. They're destroying or abusing their body on purpose. Many of them, it's not because of drugs like that, but it's just because the way they live their life, their culture or their lifestyle. The way they live their life. Maybe their culture, everybody ate this way. Nobody exercised. Nobody furthered their education and learned how the body works and how to take care of it. So that's the culture to some extent. Maybe they had some idea what was good for the body and what was bad, and they just made bad decisions thinking, oh, well, I'll get away with it. You can. You can get away with it for a long time while you're young. But the older you get, the less and less you can get away with it, and the more it really takes an impact on your body and starts doing harm. So these people that I'm talking about that are in the intensive care unit, that everything we've got we throw it at them and we can't save them. These are people that have chipped away at their body, letting chronic disease like heart disease, renal disease, that's kidney failure, maybe liver cirrhosis, things like this. And sometimes those things lead to cancers and things like that. Stroke is a big deal. We see a lot of stroke, because people, they let, they eat like whatever and let their cholesterol get out of hand, and that affects the blood circulation. And when you don't have circulation of blood to your brain, that's going to lead to a stroke. So a stroke is like a heart attack, but it's for your brain. The heart attack is for whatever reason your heart doesn't get adequate blood. If it doesn't get adequate blood, it doesn't get adequate oxygen. Same thing goes for your brain. Your brain needs that blood so that it can get oxygen. And if it doesn't get it, then you have a stroke. And lack of oxygen to your brain or stroke can lead to, well, you may not be able to walk, you may not be able to talk, you may not be able to feed yourself. Some people just have a deficiency on one side of their body. Some people have more or less deficiency. And when I say deficiency, I mean like what did that impact to your body, what kind of damage did it do? Did it do damage just to your arm, to your whole side of your body, to your lower half of your body, upper half? It's usually one side or the other. It's usually, even your face can droop, can affect your swallowing. So you may not be able to eat because if you tried to swallow, the muscles in your throat and your mouth wouldn't allow for it to go down the right pipe. The right pipe is your esophagus that goes to your stomach and not your trachea, which goes to your lungs. If you swallow food and it goes to your lungs, you're going to get pneumonia, and that kills people too. So much to know, so much to be aware of, so much to learn. If you want to take care of your body, if you want to live your best life for as long as you possibly can. And why wouldn't you? I grew up without a father, and never any kind of really good father figure. I had a grandfather that was the closest thing, but the thing is, he wasn't a very smart man. He was very old school Hispanic. And don't get me wrong, I'm not beating up on anybody's culture or ethnicity. I can't say that. Ethnicity. I'm Hispanic. I don't look it, but I am. But my grandfather was also, so he was kind of a half-breed, Hispanic and German. So I guess I kind of have some of that. But he was the closest thing to a father. And like I said, he wasn't very intelligent, and he was very old school. Different generation, we call it, in Hispanic culture, they call it machismo. Thinking that men are far superior to women, and just thinking that women should be barefoot pregnant in the kitchen and stuff. And it's not the way modern civilization should be viewing women, in my mind, and I hope I don't make any enemies here, but my wife is my equal, I think women are amazing. I love women, and I love my wife. And anyway, I digress. We'll talk more about that later, but and there's a lot to be said about it too, believe me. We have precious little time on this planet. Our life is so precious and so short that we need to make the most of it without wasting any of it. And don't take it for granted either, man. And don't. And you've got one life to live, and you've got one body. What a blessing. Our bodies, our minds. Look at time. It just seems to go on forever before us, and it's going to go on forever after us. And our lives is just a small little fraction of the span of time, from beginning of time until the end of time. We're here just, a tiny little fraction of that whole span. So let's not waste it. Let's make the most of it. Let's treat it like the precious gift that it is. Look at that bird right there. He's enjoying the day. He's enjoying his time.